Hello everyone. Today we are going to continue our topic Salmonella, that is which belongs to the family Enterobacteriaceae. So I am Dr. Sharad Deshmukh from S.H. Jaiswal College, Arjuni Murgaon. Now let us start the genera Salmonella. So in this case, the Salmonella, which consists of the rod shape, that is the bacilli, which parasitize in the intestine of the man, animals and the birds. So there are about more than 2000 species of the Salmonella genus, and all are potentially pathogenic. This is the most important characteristic of the Salmonella species. There are number of species, that is about 2000, and all are potentially pathogenic. So they causes the two major diseases in the man, that is the typhoid, what generally combinedly we say the enteric fever, and the gastroenteritis. So most important member of this genus is the Salmonella typhi, or shortly we generally call it as a S. typhi, which is the causative agent of the typhoid fever. So in this case, in the group of Salmonella, this was first observed by the Eberth in 1880 in the mesenteric nodes and the spleen of the typhoid cases. This was observed by the Eberth, and in 1884 Gafke isolated these organisms in the pure culture, and hence it was named Eberth-Gafke bacillus or Eberthella typhi, as it was identified and isolated and by the Gafke and also by the Eberth, who was observed this organism. That's why Eberth typhi also. So in this case, the about the Salmonella, the name how now the Salmonella appear. So we have seen either here the Eberth bacilli, but we are calling it as a S. typhi or Salmonella typhi. This is because D.E. Salmon, that is the American pathologist who described the etiology of this organism, and hence it was renamed as the Salmonella typhi. The genus Salmonella consists of the bacilli that parasitize the intestine of a large vertebrate species, large number of the vertebrate species, and that infect the human beings, leading to the enteric fever, gastroenteritis and septicemia, which are the major infection caused by the Salmonella species. For the practical purpose, they may be divided into two groups, such as the enteric fever group and the food poisoning group. In the first one, the enteric fever group, they mainly include the Salmonella typhi, paratyphi A, Salmonella paratyphi B, and there is one more species is the Salmonella paratyphi C, which is very rare in the India. The second group, what we call the food poisoning group. Here most of the Salmonella except the S. typhi, they can cause the food poisoning, and most of the other species, that is from the Salmonella, they are from the animal origin and they are responsible mainly for the food poisoning. They are included in the food poisoning group. But in the first one, the main is the Salmonella typhi, Salmonella paratyphi A and Salmonella paratyphi B, and a very rare species is the Salmonella paratyphi C. So next we will continue with the morphological characters of the Salmonella. Here it is the gram-negative bacilli. These are motile, and this motility is due to the peritrichate flagella. They are not monotrichous, they possess the peritrichate flagella and they are motile. They are the group belonging to the non-spore forming bacilli, and they are also fimbriated one. So these are the important characteristic of the Salmonella species. Coming to the cultural characters, in this case they are the organism which can grow optimally at 37 degrees centigrade, and pH required for Salmonella is 6.8, and they may grow in the wide range of the pH, that is from 4.5 to 9, and these are aerobes and facultative anaerobes. As these organisms are non-fastidious, they can grow on the ordinary media also. As far as the culture characters are concerned, we'll see the one by one their characteristic on different types of the media. Just I have told they are non-fastidious, they can easily grow on nutrient agar. The colonies on the nuclear agar are the circular. They are about 2 to 3 nanometer. They are 2 to 3 millimeter in diameter. They are convex, smooth, grayish white, and translucent. Similarly, on McConkey agar, they form the similar type of the colonies that of the nutrient agar, but they are slightly smaller, about 1 to 3 millimeter in diameter, and they are non-lactose fermenting. That is, they form the colorless colony on the McConkey agar. The third one media, which is also commonly used for the salmonella, is the DCA, that is deoxycholate citrate agar. On DCA also they form the non-lactose fermenting, that is the colorless colonies on the DCA. The one of the selective medium which is commonly used for the salmonella is the Wilson and Blair bismuth sulfide agar. So generally we call it as the the Wilson Blair agar, and on this media they form the jet black colonies with the metallic sheen. So this black coloration is due to the mainly the estrus formation. But those species such as the S. paradiphy A, which are estrus negative, they form the green colonies on the Wilson and Blair bismuth sulfide agar, while all, particularly the S. typhi, they form the black colony due to the estrus production. So in this case, you can see here the figure, the Wilson and Blair agar showing the black color colonies, and second one is the McConkey agar with the non-lactose fermenting colonies which are formed by the Salmonella species. So another one character we have to mention here is the enrichment media which are used for the Salmonella typhi. Are the first one is the selenite ebb broth, and second one is the tetrathionate broth. Particularly the enrichment is required when we want to isolate them from the fecal matter, as the other organism may overgrow on these such S. typhi or Salmonella group. That's why it is necessary to go for the enrichment, so that they will inhibit the all unwanted organisms which are normally present in the fecal matter or the feces, and that will selectively allow to grow the Salmonella species, and you can easily isolate these organisms by the enrichment culture. Thank you. We'll stop here and we'll continue in the next lecture.